If you can weld this properly, I would hire you. But this joint exposes mistakes fast, even if somebody already has good looking welds. This joint here is a mix of outside corner welding and fillet joints. But the real challenge or problem with this joint isn't the welding itself, it's the angles and directions of it. Getting set up with this one, you physically cannot access everything cleanly. There's tight spots where the filler or the torch gets in the way. And looking at this thing, you can see there are infinite directions that you could travel with each pass. This joint can overwhelm somebody fast. Here's how you can make this joint. It's pretty simple actually. You can see I just cut a bunch of triangles on my bandsaw, and these triangles are just assembled into little pyramid shapes, and then the pyramid shapes are all assembled together. Tacking them together is pretty straightforward, although you have to be very careful where you put your tacks. But the main thing to remember is how you prepare these pieces before you tack them together. All of them are properly decontaminated, of course. I prefer to use acetone, and then I wire brush things pretty obsessively. Wire brushing them in a way that decontaminates is very important, but I also use a ruler just to wire brush them so they look nice and organized. This will look awesome when it's all finished up. So this is where most beginners are gonna start off with this one. A lot of the time with any of these passes, you'll probably see somebody start out with things looking pretty decent at the beginning, but then as they might continue on in an area, it might look super busted or messed up near the end of a pass. For somebody who's at a basic or more beginner level with TIG welding, it's common that we might see areas that have been missed, or there's little holes or little gaps in between passes, not totally connected properly. What can happen is that when there's almost too many directions or options for directions that you can weld on something like this, the directions that somebody's gonna choose are most likely gonna lead to overheating or problems with heat management. And that's what's great about this little welding project that I came up with as a little test. Listen, if you're having problems at this stage here, it's not because you cannot weld. It's because this joint here exposes everything. When you have so many options, tough and restricted angles for your torch and or filler, and somebody maybe who hasn't really had a lot of experience in running passes that are slightly out of position, these are the most common problems at this level here. And if you're at this level in skill right here, it is all good. I honestly mean that. This is just where some people get stuck, and honestly, it's just because people haven't built up the experience for awkward control around different positions yet. I think TIG welding should be fun, so if you would be somebody who potentially could struggle with something like this, or if you get frustrated trying to work on something a little more intricate, I would recommend going back and dropping back and practicing or warming up with some more basic beginner type joints. And what you can even do is you can set them up on your table like this here, and you can kind of simulate a slightly out of position weld doing so. Now, as somebody's skill starts to improve, this is the next stage that they're gonna reach here. What you're gonna see here is a lot of these straight passes are gonna start to look a lot more controlled, but there are still a few little details here and there that are gonna be missing. What's missing is the little details of how it was planned out. When you have this many options for different directions that you can head with all of your welding, what's gonna happen is you're also gonna start to box yourself in with some of the positions where you're not gonna be able to see clearly. And navigating around some of these joints here, if you're not careful, these are only gonna get worse and more difficult as the piece heats up. And these types of problems can actually happen regardless of what position you're welding this in. And when it comes to stuff like proper torch or proper filler material angle, this is exactly what I show in my free workbook right here. It shows how the filler material angles should look relative to the project that you're working on. You always want to be feeding in line with your welding pass, and you want to try and keep your filler material somewhere around the 90-degree mark from your torch angle. Again, go hit the description below, check out this new workbook. It's completely free. Print it out, take it into the shop while you work, put it on your phone. I worked really hard on this workbook. You guys are going to enjoy it. Taking a look at this thing here, what do you notice with all of the buttons? If you take a closer look at it, you can see that these have all been planned out and they are completely symmetrical to one another. I've got a button on each one of these guys here and a button straight in the middle to tie everything together like a pretty little bow. If there are any welds that I can point in a certain direction so that the button does not end up going on something that I don't want it to, wrecking other passes. If I can tie everything together and use multiple welding directions to just finish with one or as few as I can welding buttons, this is something that I'm going to do. And also it's just a good look. Everything's nice and symmetrical. All the welds are pointing in the same direction so that it looks symmetrical and really showy. And like for example, if I were to point this one in the other direction, I would do this one first so that these welds can then go over top of it and hide that button. Any areas that I can plan to flip my welds around and hide or eliminate buttons, or I'm going to be able to hide them under other areas of welding, this is something I'm always going to take the time to plan out ahead of time. This is where the stage that I'm at with production and doing custom work, as well as all the years of teaching TIG welding, all of the experience after decades in the trade is gonna come into play at this point here. Every direction that I've done is planned out and intentional. Even before my first welding pass was started, I'm choosing my sequence of welding so that I don't trap myself into tight corners with bad angles or leaving buttons in places I don't want them to be, and then pointing my welding in directions so that I can prevent excessive heat buildup and wrecking the welding that I've already done on the project. The biggest thing that I always preach when teaching projects like this is properly connecting each welding pass. I'm gonna make sure that all of the corners are wrapped perfectly. Like I keep talking about, all my buttons are placed in a symmetrical manner, nice and center, looking good. I want them to be in areas that look intentional, not random. Check out this page in the workbook here. This goes over the importance of the overall welding results that we want with any project that we do. We want consistency from start to finish. This is something that is massively important. And with a project like this, because there's so many different joints and angles that you could potentially head, having the consistency across all of these different passes looking really good, these are the details that are really gonna set something like this project off and make it look fantastic. When you get to welding at this level, you aren't running welding passes really anymore. You're literally shaping how this thing is gonna turn out with your awareness before you even start welding. That way, when you do grab your torch and light up and start welding, every movement and every pass you do is intentional and well thought out. And in my mind, you honestly spend less time welding in the long run. With an intricate project like this one here, when you do this type of planning, you get a completely different result with the final product when you're done. You guys, I spent weeks making this workbook and putting it all together for you. Like I said, go download it right now. It's completely free. And make sure you do a random act of kindness for a stranger today. My name is Dusty James. Bill and Chill. We will talk soon. Peace.